Cut, cut, cut. What the
What is your full name?
William Raymond Waters III.
Now, can you repeat that but slower?
William. No, we'll do it. We'll do it right. William Raymond Waters III.
William Raymond Waters III, do you consent to this interview that
Yeah.
will be published both in Waters newspaper and a YouTube released video?
Yep.
What is your date of birth?
It is 4/5/1964.
1964. So what age does that make you right now?
58.
Dang. Really? 58?
Yeah.
Where were you born?
I was born in Oshkosh, Wisconsin,
And how do you know that?
by Mom.
You just believe everything Mom says?
Well, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't lie about something like that.
Okay. Have you seen your birth certificate?
No, but I do have it.
You should look at that and make sure she's telling you the truth.
Okay.
What are some nicknames or alias names that somebody might refer to you as?
Oh, back when I was younger, it was Waterhead. I worked at a clothing factory and they called me Head.
Head?
Head. They just don't even know how that come up.
I'm pretty sure that's a reference to a toilet in a boat.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. Anyways, they called me Head, and even a couple cops I knew. Terry Holsey called me Head. And it's just the way these two buddies I hung out with, they actually nicknamed me that. So that's how I got that.
What else?
Billy Bob. Some used to call me William by my first name. And Billy Bob, Joe Pete. I worked at the place that made the oh my gosh, I used to golly, not Mustang, you know, it used to be a Mustang where we made
Salad bars?
yeah, salad bars.
Oh. They called you Joe Pete?
No, the one in the office, the girl that ran the thing, you know, I was driving and delivering.
Oh, the thief, yeah.
And so she just come up with Billy Bob, Joe Pete. So
I see.
But that's about all.
What about Barbara Jean?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean,
Why in the world do people call you Barbara Jean or Barb?
I think Barbara Jean come from talking about what would we talk about? The one in Olive Hill. We joke around about.
Oh, Bobby Jean.
Bobby
Yeah,
Jean.
okay, I can see that reference.
Now Barb, I don't know where that comes from.
What about whiskey?
Yeah,
Do you have any idea why you were called whiskey?
I do. I was in town one day and I was starting out our first game, softball game, and I hit the ball real good down third base line, and I haven't played in a long time, and I just like buckled, my knees buckled, and I was running pretty fast when they buckled, and I hit the ground, and all you could see was dust. You couldn't even see me. They go, well, you look like you just been drinking whiskey. So they called me Whiskey. Sure enough, that's how that happened.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I hit the ground hard, and I got up laughing, you know, and they go, man, you look like you just got to drinking some whiskey.
Do you remember, let me ask you this question first. Can you name all of your siblings' first and middle name in order?
My brothers and sisters.
Yes.
I can.
Do it.
There's Tommy Lee, Tammy Marie, William Raymond, Kenneth Bruce, Victoria Ellen, Joseph Stanley, Jesse James, and Brian Scott.
Okay. What about your half-brother, Danny? What was his middle name?
I don't know.
Do you remember anything about him?
Not much. I just know he lived with us for a couple months and he left
Really? I did not know that.
in Pegram.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Well, do you know how old he was when he died?
Mm-mm. No, I do not.
What about favorites? I want to know what your favorite color is.
You're not gonna believe when I tell you my favorite color. If I had a car or something like that and had the money to do it, it would be a dark popsicle purple.
Dark popsicle purple?
Yep.
Interesting. What about food? What's your favorite food?
I think if it ever come down to it, pizza. I like pizza.
Sausage, pepperoni.
Yeah. No.
What about drink?
Mountain Dew, boys.
That's a Mountain Dew drinking son of a buck right over there.
Oh my God! I started out with Mellow Yellow when I was working at Hickory Hills in Clifton, and then I went to Mountain Dew, and once I drank one of them, it was on. Yeah, Mountain Dew.
All right. What about candy? Do you have a favorite candy?
I like Reese's Pieces.
I do too. What's your favorite book?
I would say the Bible.
Oh,
I mean, I've read the Bible 3 times. So
okay.
it ain't like I haven't, you know. So yeah, that is probably the most interesting book you could ever read.
What about vacation destination?
If I had a choice to go anywhere, I would like to go to Hawaii.
What about the favorite vacation destination that you've been to so far?
Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
What about favorite musical artist or group?
No doubt, the Eagles.
The Eagles. What about a specific song? What's their best song to you?
Man, I've loved this song from the day I heard it. Take It to the Limit. I had that wrote on the back of my little Cavalier, my Z24.
Yeah.
I had a Roy Spranks write, Take It to the Limit. on the back.
Besides a clown, what did you want to be when you grew up as a youngster?
I actually wanted to be a car painter. I always wanted to paint a car. I still have that in me. I still want to get my hood off my car. I want to sand it down, and I want to get real spray paint and a sprayer, and I want to see what I can do with spray painting. But spray painting a car, man, that's
Cool.
what I've always wanted to do.
Where's the first place that you remember living?
Wisconsin, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I think that's the house where I was. That's where I was born, and we had to walk to school.
Uphill both ways in the snow. Yeah.
Yep, through the yards. Yeah, it's literally a house. I won't forget it. Yep, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and that's the first house that I can remember as young to the youngest age. Yep.
Where
Yep.
do you currently live?
I live in Hardin County. When we first come down here, I remember. When we first come down here, I remember living in Pegram, Tennessee. That's where I went to school from my first grade all the way halfway through my 8th grade, which is it went through 1 through 8th. And Mom and Dad decided to put me in. That's when they become Seventh-day Adventists. And so Mom and them put me in Greater Nashville Junior Academy. That's where I went. And so Pegram, Tennessee. We lived there for like 8, 9 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we went. So they took me to Greater Nashville Junior Academy, and we stayed there for a little while, and that's when we moved to Nashville.
Do you remember much about Dr. Churchwell's?
Yes, I do. I was laying in bed one time, and a rat jumped from the floor to my bed, and I felt the boom. And I looked, and the rat was looking right at me, and I just took my arm and slung it off the bed, and it went up underneath the chair. I grabbed my mattress, no joke, y'all. I grabbed my mattress and put it on top of the eating table and slept. Because that rat was looking right at me after I knocked it off and it got underneath the chair. It was looking right at me, and I go, oh no. And we didn't live there long after that. I mean, it was really a big rat-infested house.
Oh, there wasn't just one?
No, because I opened up the well on the side of the house, and they all went.
Do you remember living in the country by yourself?
Oh my goodness, y'all. It's probably one of the proudest things ever. Besides buying my new Nissan truck in '95, renting this beautiful old house that's been fixed up inside, and it had the long shingles, like an old house. Yeah, man, I'm talking about every morning I could wake up and look out there and have 30 deer grazing. At 5, almost every evening at 5 o'clock, there was a fox that had a little trail that he followed. And I saw him just about every day at 5 o'clock, like right on time. And, but man, Yeah, I kept that house clean. You know, it was me by myself. I would get on my hands and knees and clean the floor just to make sure it was really clean. My landlord was like, brought his sister over, and I knew her working with her, but Hickory Hills. Brought her over one day, and she goes, "You keep the house cleaner than I do." And anyways, man, you know, when I ate, I did my dishes, cleaned the counter. Every 3 days, I would sweep and hand clean the floor. It was what do you call that?
Linoleum.
Linoleum floor. But it was spotless, and my bathroom spotless. I didn't want anybody to come over my house and use the bathroom; it'd be dirty. But yeah, that was man. The only reason why I had to leave is because he sold it.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna check on these cameras to make sure they're rolling, and while I do that, why don't you tell me how you kept your house so clean if you never turned any lights on?
Oh, oh my God, y'all talking about a cheapo? No, y'all really want to know something about a cheapie? They had 60-watt light bulbs in that house. Okay, let's back up a little bit. First of all, I got my first electric bill. It was $7, and I almost went down there and took it to the the electric place and complained about the $7 because I didn't think it should be that high, because all I had was a well, and I changed all the light bulbs down to 10-watt light bulbs. 10 watt. I mean, you know, it wasn't. I think I might have had a 40-watt one in the kitchen.
Oh man.
But anyways, y'all, that was a really nice, cool house right there. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. Do you remember when James Baker and me and Jesse came over with a shotgun blasting in that pile of deers?
This is at midnight. I was sleeping. I mean, out of it. Didn't hear them pull up. It was Brian, Jesse, and
James Baker.
Real good friend. I mean, you know, brothers, and James Baker was a really good friend of our family's. And they pulled up in the truck when he hung out the window, or somebody hung out the window and shot a deer. I told you I had 30 deer at least grazing back there every evening, all night. And they killed one. Never seen them deer again. They scared them deer. They never came back. I waited, never saw another one ever after that.
You're welcome.
But anyways, man, I tell you what, when I heard that boom, I jumped out of bed and what the heck? Looked out the window and I saw Jesse and James and Brian. I go, oh my God. But you know what? I didn't get mad. Nope, didn't get mad. I don't even know if I think I went right back to bed. But anyway, we put the deer in the bathtub. Salted it down, the deer meat. Jesse couldn't do it.
I couldn't either. It was nasty.
Mom had to go help James Baker skin it, and I don't know. I didn't smell it because I didn't go out there. But anyways, yeah, that was an experience too.
Yes, it was. So what kind of cars and trucks have you had?
I had a 60 model Chevrolet long wheelbase. Don't know exactly what year, but I had a Pontiac station wagon that Kenneth used to own. The one with the wood grain on the side. I bought that from him. I've had my very first car was a 68 four-door Nova. Came from up north, rusted out, had a 4-cylinder in it, and it just didn't have enough power. And I let one of my buddies drive it. We was out riding around one night at midnight, and he begged me to drive it. And I go, yeah, you can drive it. Man, don't go fast. When he goes around this one curve, just enough to get it to slide, and he lost it. And ran it into a tree. And it hit right where the frame was in the headlight. So it bent it all up. Fender was up against the wheel. And can you believe it? We went home and we was a mile from home. So we walked home. It was me, Tommy. Oh my gosh, what is your name?
Was it Brett?
Huh?
It wasn't Brett.
Yeah, Brett Earl.
Really? That's
Yeah.
who did that.
It was Brett Earl. He's dead now. Brett Earl and me. And we all got out of the car. And Tommy was in there, of course. And then we went home, slept. I was expecting the car to be gone from the cops or something, you know. So, no, the car was still there. And I go, I'm still going to try to drive it home with that bumper up against that tire. And I made it home with it.
Wow.
And anyways, that Nova. So when he wrecked that, I went to a junkyard and bought a 69 Nova 2-door and put that motor in it and drove it for a little while. And then, of course, there was the station wagon, the 60 Chevrolet pickup I bought from Ray Rich. Then I bought that Chrysler New Yorker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, guys, whew, that was a mean car. It was a 73 Chrysler New Yorker. I mean, one of the big ones with the 440 in it. It's wonder how they get killed in that thing. Because I got up 123 miles an hour. I had my boss. Oh, golly. Had my boss with me and coming home from Waynesboro, and I let it rip. It got up to 123 miles an hour, and it was going, and still going. I go, whoa! Slowly let down on it and got back down. We would have died because he hit one of those dips. That would have killed us. Because I mean, it was going like this. Well, anyways, the Chrysler New Yorkers. In 95, then I had a Z24, and in 95, y'all, I had enough credit where I could buy me a brand new vehicle. And so I bought that brand new Nissan truck, kept it 10 years, sold it, and after I sold it, I wish I never would have sold it. But when I sold it, I bought me, when I sold that Nissan truck, I wanted a car, so I bought me a 2000 Impala LS. You remember that?
Oh yeah, the white one.
The white one. It was a white one. It was like beautiful, y'all. Sunroof, all wood grain in there. And then I bought a 2004. I bought a 2004 Dodge Stratus with the V6 in it. And that was the last car I had. I had both those cars. I had $600 a month in payments just on those two cars. So that was the last two cars I had. So that's about all the cars I've had. No, I had I had a little Chevette.
That's right. I remember that.
I had a little Chevette I bought from this one young kid. It was a 4-speed, and I ended up selling it to Jesse, and Jesse would get it out there on the road and put oil on the road and go and smoke the tires. He ended up blowing it up. And but the last car, as far as quite a while ago, was that Impala, and then I bought that Dodge Stratus. Well, I lost them. I got married and I lost them. and I had to stay home and take care of my wife. And now, you want me to go into now what I got?
Yes.
So now, Brian, y'all, man, y'all can't get a better brother than the brothers that I have, real.
We'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
But anyways, I had a, what year was it?
I think it was a 2000 or a 99.
A 2000
2000.
Cadillac. Oh man.
Was it a DeVille?
DeVille. It's a 2000 Cadillac DeVille. Alright. I had that. The motor went bad on it. And then I have the 2002 Cavalier, and then a 2005 Cadillac STS. My vehicles.
Cool.
I really haven't had a whole lot of them. Never had transmission problems. Except for Cadillac.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, cool. If money was not an object, what car would you buy?
Yeah, I mean, you know I got a Cadillac, but I really like my Cadillac. I like the way it handles and everything.
What about him?
It would probably be.
Hello.
Hello. We're taking a shortcut.
You
Yeah.
go right ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. I got my friend over today.
Sweet. Enjoy. You gonna jump on that trampoline?
I don't know.
With
He
your
broke his
broken arm?
so we can't. I may jump. I may still get
It would. If I had the money, I would probably buy a new Cadillac.
High performance, of course.
Either that or the Mercedes. They're just awesome cars too, so it'd be a hard choice. But my first word would be a Cadillac, because I just saw one in town and it was the baddest Cadillac I ever seen in my life. Anyway.
Well, cool. All right. I'm gonna have to take another quick break.
Okay.
And we'll pick up right there. Yep, right here. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back, and we're picking up with, have you ever had any pets that were solely yours?
Yeah, man, I did. I actually had a goose.
Really?
That's when we was living in Olive Hill. I trained it by giving it was real shy, and I trained it by getting closer and closer and closer and giving it corn. So it finally started eating out of my hand. Okay, and I mean, it was like every day, Mom, I'd get a bucket of corn, and that goose would come all the way up to me and go, "Arr, arr." I mean, just as proud, just like your dog. And come right up to me, and they'd let me pet it. And I got it where I'd go, "Arr, arr," like that right there, and sounded just like a goose, and that thing would fly 20 foot up in the air and go boom, 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 boom. And just held his head up real high and proud, and he was talking to me, and it finally sat on my lap one day.
Oh, wow.
And I go, so yeah, a goose. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it, but that's one of my first pets I ever really had.
Are you a sports fan of any kind?
Well, I've actually been a Green Bay Packer fan for a long time.
I don't have to tell you how I feel about the Packers.
Well,
but
I think
this isn't about me. It's about you.
I think I got that from Dad. That was like the first football team that Dad and I watched together when I was younger, and I just got into the Green Bay Packers. I could see how far back it was before, and come back and win it. And anyways, yeah, Green Bay Packers.
Shut up, Kayla. You're disturbing us. Okay.
Yep. Sorry to spoil your interview.
Yeah, that kind of put a damper in it right there. I'll just cut that out.
Yeah, you get that out.
Packers. Did you know that their nickname is the Crapper Packers?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's... I don't know if I could support a team like that. I don't have it on here, but I need to ask you about hobbies. What kind of hobbies have you had or do you like?
Well, golf. I like bowling. I've been on a bowling team. Never on a golf team or anything like that, but I went like 5 years in a row playing golf with my friend Royce Cranks. And so golf, and it's because it's just a hard sport, hitting that little ball wherever you want to. A lot of people go, oh, I don't see you going around hitting a little ball. And I said, it's not that. It's the sport of it because it's a hard sport.
It's right here.
Yep.
7-inch game.
And I like volleyball. I like softball. I played softball until I was 35 before I finally quit playing softball. And I like all kinds of sports. I mean, I even like basketball. I'm really good at it, but I like a lot of sports.
Have you ever been participating in a sport or a game and say, this game, I quit?
How many times have I said that playing golf? Golf is probably the worst.
Really?
Hey, I used to take my club, and my friends would say, no, Billy, don't do it. I said, I won't even say the words I said. But I said, heck no, man, I don't care. I'll go buy me another one. And I threw this one time, and it actually got caught in a tree. We just happened to have a guy that was 6'6" that had to take his club and stretch all the way out to just get the club out of there. I've never thrown one in the water, but I have thrown it so hard on the ground I'd snap it in two. It's funny. Golf is funny because you can go out and play one day, you can play real good, and go out the next day and can't play worth a dime.
Can't figure it out. You're just like, what? How do you do this game? That's right.
But anyway,
I love golf. It does not love me back, but I love golf. All right, and so is there something that you're passionate about? Like some people love the climate and don't want to litter and stuff like that. Is there anything that you're passionate about? For instance, I'm passionate about my country. I love this country. Wouldn't live anywhere else.
my whole thing in my life, and it's just the way I turned out, it's just the way I am. I like to make people, my passion is I love to make people laugh. I like them, I like to make people laugh. That's where I've always been. I don't care, all the way through when I remember old as I was, 5 years old or whatever. I've always wanted to make people laugh.
I can respect that.
Go
ahead.
There's too many people that look so sad all the time. Like life is rotten.
People need a good laugh. Yep.
Some people appreciated me giving them a good laugh.
Right.
Okay.
What do you dislike?
What dislike?
Dislike. Yeah.
I dislike. Oh man, y'all gonna hate me. Some people are. I hate druggies because they won't only steal from you and call you your friend, but they'll steal from their kids, parents. I've seen it. I've seen it in my lifetime. I've seen it. He used to steal his mom and dad's checks, write out a check, and go buy dope with it. And the kid had it made. Grandma and Grandpa was going to pay his college, and he went opposite. They gave him a car. They took the car away, and then he didn't go to college. But no, man, drugs.
Speaking of drugs, when Brett Ertl wrecked your car, did you say Tommy was with you?
Tommy was with me.
Was there a little...
Yes, there was. Oh, no? Hey, there was none of that. Hey, no. No, it was drinking.
Drinking.
See, Brett Earl he had a few drinks of whiskey, a pretty stout whiskey, you know. As big as he is, I didn't think he had a buzz, but he had a buzz. He lost it around that curve. And I'm glad we didn't go this other way because we probably ended up in the hospital. Oh yeah, I put my hands, I could see what was happening. And I put my hands and my leg like this, and it still went like his head hit the mirror, cut his head a little bit. Tommy was in the back seat and bowled the front seat like that.
Well, it was a bench seat.
Yep, the impact on 30 miles an hour.
Not buckled up.
Oh no. Oh, I wasn't either. And you know, I think from that day on, no, I almost lost my car at 30 miles an hour on a gravel road. And I was actually sliding this way, and I actually slid halfway into the seat and had a hold of the steering wheel, and it just happened to go. And from that day on, always wear your seatbelt. From that day on, I wore my seatbelt, even when it wasn't a law.
Because you lost control. I mean, you weren't able to be behind the wheel.
Well, Brian, if I'd had that seatbelt on there, it would have kept me behind that wheel. Yeah. So anyway, that was a very, very important lesson learned too.
Another lesson from William III. Buckle up.
Buckle up, y'all. Even if you're in the back seat.
What would you consider is a strength of yours? No strengths, huh? What about a weakness? What's a weakness of yours? Like mine is chocolate.
Mountain Dews. Cigarettes. Cigarettes, don't smoke.
Cigarettes and Mountain Dew. What's wrong with Mountain Dew?
No, I mean, they're both bad. I mean, I got a bad habit on both of them, y'all. I like drinking Mountain Dews and smoking cigarettes.
Mountain Dew's pretty high on caffeine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't smoke.
What is an interesting fact about you that we probably don't know?
You know, a lot of y'all don't know that I get frustrated on simple things that, like at work, and mess something up and gotta redo it or something like that. Or I don't even like wasting time from my boss. If I'm not, let me tell you what, if I'm standing around waiting on him to come out of his house, I get a broom and I sweep. Because, I mean, I don't
Stay busy, huh?
I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay. What is your current health condition, in your opinion?
Oh man, I kind of worry about my health. I don't have any insurance, And I've had about 4 incidents. One time, I was over at my boss was working, and all of a sudden I went double vision. No, I mean double vision. I mean, I was standing up when it started happening. It was like I was crossing my eyes. And I actually had to sit down, and this really happened. I actually had to sit down, and I told Kevin about it. And sat down in a Ranger, side-by-side Ranger, that's what we use. And that's happened like 3 times already. So I don't know what's causing that. It's probably smoking. It probably is. I'm pretty sure that sure don't help. But somebody told me it was extreme high blood pressure. Can cause you to have eye problems and stuff like that. Y'all remember that. If you get an eye problem and your eyes look like it's just crossing and there's nothing you can do, I could shut one eye and it was still kind of like. But
Do you think you have high blood pressure?
I always have had. I used to take blood pressure pills when I was married to Debbie. I went to the doctor finally, and mine was like 168 over 102. And he goes, "Oh my goodness," he said, "you don't feel weird or anything?" I go, "No." He goes, "Man, I'm fixing to get you started on these low dose blood pressure pills so you don't have to, so it don't get any worse." And when I started taking them, I actually really felt better. So I think that's what's happening. See, I haven't been to the doctor because I don't have insurance. Anyways, yeah, that's a big concern for me. Nobody even knows about that. You're the first.
Well, they will.
Well,
So how long do you think William III will live? It's a little grave to think about stuff like that.
right,
but
right. No, I'll get down to it. Every year is getting harder on me. My back hurts a lot. I mean, most of the time I gotta wear a back brace. And that kind of getting dizzy stuff. I don't know what's causing that. I mean, that's pretty serious too. It happened the other day on me. I said, "Oh boy, here we go." And I just have to, if I'm out in the open, I'll sit down on the ground. If I got the Ranger, I'll get in the Ranger, sit down, and sometimes I just have to go, "Oh man, here we go." And it's like double vision. I mean, I couldn't even drive. So I already had it in my mind coming over here. If that happened to me, I was just gonna pull over. It's that bad. So, I don't know, Brian.
So Dad was 83. You think you'll make it to 83?
Not unless I get something done to find out what's making this. What's making oh yeah. I lose my I lose my balance too. It's like, so I have to sit down because I'm gonna fall.
Whiskey.
It's like it's like you're drunk, but so my balance. Yeah, my balance is screwed up, man. It happened the other day. I thought I was doing good, and then all of a sudden, boom, it hit me. And it hits me like, I breathe kind of weird, too. I do.
Let's take a quick break. You already touched on this, but what elementary school did you attend?
Pegram, Tennessee.
Okay. Did you like school?
Yeah. Yeah, it ain't like I hate it or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say your grades were like?
About a C.
Okay. And you attended what to the 8th grade? That same school?
Yeah,
all the way to 8th grade?
Pegram, 1st grade to 8th grade. Halfway through 8th, and then I went to Greater Nashville Junior Academy.
For what? Just like 1 year?
It wasn't that long because it wasn't long at all. We got out of Nashville. I think it was 6 months. Yeah, I think we lived there for 6 months, and then a horrible place to live. And we left from there, and that's when we come 7th Ave, and we came 7th Ave, and so Dad wanted to get us close to 7th Ave and a school.
Okay. What was your stay like at Harbor Hills?
Well, I'll tell you what, I did pretty good. When I went to Harbor Hills, I told you I went halfway through 8th grade in Pigram, and then that's when we moved down there. And I finished my 8th grade out at Harbor Hills. Went to Harbor Hills my 9th, 10th, and 11th year, and I worked every summer. I finished my 11th grade year. And I actually started paying on the grade school bill, you know, Mom and Dad's bill. So I told them, I said, well, they just told me, so, well, you already got your bill paid off, now you're working on your Mom and Dad's bill, the grade school bill. And I go, all right. So I did that until I got old enough where I needed some money. I got fed up with it, and I wanted a job. I didn't care what it was. And so Bob Vickery gave me a job in Waynesboro. He got me a job there. And so I quit school. I quit school to get a job so I could have some stuff. That's what happened in my education. I finished my 11th grade year out. I went 2 weeks in my 12th. Me and Miss Dickman got into it. Because they put me in the kitchen. Well, Lord, I didn't know nothing about cooking. But she just had that courage that I could do it. Miss Dickman did, you know. She put me in there. So anyways, boom. I even stayed at the boys' dorm, you know, cause when Dad couldn't afford to bring me to the school. And, yeah. So that's what happened there. That's what happened in my education.
What is your current job?
I am a caretaker. I take care of the horses, the donkeys, fence repairs, mowing yards, weed eating, painting.
What did you do for your first job in Waynesboro? What was that job like?
You know what, guys? I took what I could get, and it really didn't matter what it was. It was a furniture factory in Waynesboro called Hickory Hills. I worked for $3.35 an hour. I'm talking about sawdust up your nose, in your ears. I run the sander. Man, y'all listen to that. When you get a job, don't work there 3-4 months and do something stupid and get fired. Keep the job whether you like it or not, and for a couple of years, I said, get your recommendation started. Man, listen to that. Okay. I just want the young kids to know that too.
Do you think you'll have, I don't know, do you think you'll get like another factory job or anything?
I don't know. It's getting kind of hard where I can't work a solid 8 hours anymore. I like work 6 hours, and I feel like I work 10.
Yeah.
But I got a bad vertebrae in my back too, and my back gives me a little problem. So and I don't see doing that. If I lost my job, what I got now, I said it'd be hard to. I don't know what I'd do.
This is a brand new segment.
Yep.
In the whole interview
Okay.
process. It's what I like to call the haves and the have-nots.
Yep. Okay. All right, got you.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and you can simply answer have or have not.
Okay.
If you want to expand on it, give any detail or commentary, feel free.
Okay.
Here we go. First ever on Waters News Incorporated interviews. Let's see how this works. Have you ever gotten a tattoo?
No, have not.
Have you ever broken any bones?
Have.
Okay.
Broke my leg twice in the same spot. Once in 3rd grade and once in 4th grade, I think.
Oh. Okay, have you ever smoked a cigo?
Have.
And how many do you think you've ever smoked?
Oh my God. Well, a pack a day for 38 years.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of cigos. All right. Have you ever drank an alcoholic beverage?
I have.
Okay. Have you ever been bitten by a snake?
Yes, I have. I've been bit in the back. I sat down, I come across the creek, sat down on a trail, and boom, it hit me in the back. Curled up, ready to strike again.
What kind was it?
It was a cottonmouth, from what the doctors say, the color that I described, that dark brownish. Yeah, it wasn't black snake, that's for sure. And anyways, they gave me a shot right in the where the snake bit me, and there was 2 bloodlines where it bit me. So I'm just kind of explaining this. I was spending a Thanksgiving at a friend's house when this happened, and just luckily a clinic was just down the road about a mile, and then they rushed me in the clinic. They injected something where the snake bit me. They said, you really need to describe what that snake looked like. And they go, oh my gosh, that's probably cottonmouth. So they sent me back home and told me if I had any kind of drowsiness, dizziness, sickness, anything unnormal, to rush to the emergency room. But yeah, I have.
Have you ever owned a gun?
I have. I used to own a 22 18-shot semi-automatic. The only gun I ever owned.
Have you ever had an intimate relationship with a school faculty member?
Have not. Oh. Kinda. Yeah.
I mean, so have or have not?
Have.
Okay.
No names.
Okay. And that's while you were a student, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever smoked pot?
I have.
Have you ever parked near an airport while smoking pot? Have you ever had any surgeries or been hospitalized?
I have not. Oh, back when I was young, I used to have asthma. I had to go to the hospital. I had to be rushed to the hospital a couple times because I had bad breathing. Dad had to come off work, pick me up and take me. That's when I was about 5, 6. I remember having one attack, and let me tell you what, it's not funny. I remember going, I mean, it was that bad.
Mm.
But anyway, yes.
If you could go in time travel, would you go in the past or the future?
It'd be the future, and I'd be wanting to go to heaven.
Have you ever met what some of our family members call Tommy?
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 Yes, I have.
So you're stating on the record that Tommy exists.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think Tommy.
Tommy.
Tommy?
Yes, Tommy.
Brother Tommy.
When is the last time you saw Tommy?
Last summer. Ended last summer, me and Mom went.
When you lived in the country by yourself, how many times did Tommy visit you there?
Oh, he never come to see me.
Oh, okay. Have you ever been married?
I have.
To whom?
Deborah Smith. She died in my arm with a severe heart attack. She had coronary heart disease.
So how long were y'all married?
1 month. Let's see, we got married on the 7th. 17, 27, 28. 1 year and 20 days.
Really? A year and 20 days.
In 2007, she died on the 28th of 2008.
Did she have any kids?
She did. She had 2.
Have you ever been incarcerated?
Yes, I have.
What was that like?
It's hard. It's hard. Let me tell you what, it's hard. When I was in prison, I just kept my faith up. I mean, I really did. I kept my faith up. This is where I read my Bible all the way through 3 times while I was in prison. And it actually gave me faith. And the first thing you want to do is you want to mind your own business. Let me tell you what, you don't want to go to prison. I'm telling you, y'all better listen to me. You don't want to go to prison because you don't have no freedom. You go to bed at a certain time. There's count time. There's count time in the morning, and you got to be up out of your bed, sitting up. You got to keep your rooms clean, and mind your own business. That's the first thing I tell you. Mind your own business. Don't worry about this guy, what he's doing. If they're fighting, you walk around that fight and don't even look that way. So I'm trying to tell everybody that, by gosh, you don't want to go to prison. And it doesn't matter even if it's for drugs or whatever it is. You don't want to go to prison. And I'm trying to get this through to you young kids too. And I just happen to, I don't know what it is. I think the Lord, I know it was the Lord that was with me, because I kept good with the guards. I respected them. They ended up liking me. First job, I finally got a job mowing the yards. Did that for 2 years. Worked my way up to hauling the trash around on a tractor, out of the fence. I was out of the fence. I got a pass to get out of the fence to go haul the trash. Did that for like a year and a half, 2 years. And there's a whole point to all this, so I hope y'all are listening. And I went from there to getting on the tractor, mowing, and I'm talking about this is right by the highway and everything. They give me permission to mow, and I did that, oh good grief, 2.5 years, 3. I was in prison for 8. Oh man, I hope y'all are listening. I hope some people are watching this, because it's just, you really don't want to go to prison. Anyways, I went from mowing the yards. The guy that was running the backhoe wanted to be transferred to another prison. So they did. They transferred him. So they didn't have they didn't have anybody there to drive the backhoe. I put in for the job, and I had a perfect record there. Man, even the warden even the warden, I gotta explain this, because even the warden trusted me. Out on the highway one time, I had a bunch of guards there watching me and everything, but they let me get on the highway. I wasn't even allowed on the highway to get the backhoe to clear the road where the workers could come in. And anyways, I put in for the backhoe job. I never operated a backhoe before, but I love running machinery, and I did an excellent job running the tractors, keeping the tractors up, the mowers up, blades sharpened, greased. And so I got that backhoe job. I did that for 3 years, digging up pipes. If there was any kind of pipe problems, they'd call on me. No matter what time of day, I was on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week call. The whole 3 years I was there. Or the whole 3 years that I ran the backhoe. And, you know, man, you can, my whole point is that made 4 or 5 of my years go by like that. And I just did it. When it come winter time, they let me get out there all by myself on the backhoe, all by myself. They trusted me. Clear the parking lots off, the warden's parking spot. And the reason why I really wanted to tell you this is because if you do get in prison, man, you do your best to make it the best. Do the best you can, but by choice, you don't want to go to prison because, man, there's people that if there's 2 things: you mind your own business, and you don't get in debt with anybody. If you get in debt with somebody, you don't pay them back. I'm talking about food, cigarettes. They get some cigarettes in there, and if you don't pay your debts, they will beat you. And I'm talking about beat you. 8 years is a long time to be in prison. You lose a lot. You don't, you know, every once in a while, Mom would come down and see me, and other people are too busy to work, too far off. And I just want to encourage y'all, man, stay away from them drugs or anything that's illegal that'll get you put in prison. Don't get put in prison, because anybody else will tell you the same thing I am. It's not worth it.
All right, so what was the food like?
The food is horrible. You get a 2,500 calorie diet, tray, and they cut a lot of stuff out. The food is in bags. Like mixed vegetables, they're in bags. They open up the bags, throw them in a big pot, heat it up, and they serve it to you. The biscuits, the biscuits are like hard rock. Food is horrible, and the courage that I had and the faith that I had to get through all this was I was making 75 cents an hour, and that's the highest you can make in the prison, running the backhoe. So nobody else can do it for me. I have to do it myself. But do not get put in prison. It's not worth it, man. I promise you, it ain't worth it. Nothing is. So that's what I have to say about that.
Well, I appreciate your time, your honesty. I love you.
And I love you too.
But that's it. That was it. That's a wrap. I have no more notes after that. No more
I hope
questions.
y'all really listen to what I said, because, man, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
We're done here.
Pick whatever comes to my mind.